That hurt.
We should do the show now. We got plenty of people watching, Brett. Let's just do it now.
All right, that's fine.
Sack him. You can't. You pay too much money. They can't sack him.
We made this bet, and we're going to accept it. I'm hoping this is an eye-opening experience for him, quite frankly. And why any scouting report would have said, "Hey, Panama is going to come, is going to sit back, and they're going to counter quick."
Yep.
We were all talking about it.
Everybody knew.
We're armchair coaches. We're sitting here talking about what he should do. If we can see it, why can't they?
I don't know. And people are going to say, well, these subs were influenced by MLS. I don't think so. I think Poach got over enamored with the fucking January camp. We've seen it happen before with Jesus and other players. We've seen that happen. You get over enamored playing shitty fucking teams in January. And I have no problem with bringing, because of the situation at center forward, Aguiman in. Okay. Although I thought Josh has shown for Norwich he can play 90 minutes, but Aguiman did have a couple chances. And he's a big boy. And I get it. You're going to be crossing a lot in the last 15 minutes of this game. But this is absolutely pathetic. The whole like-for-like McGlynn and Tessman sub was atrocious. The inability to notice that Musah was, after a while, just not going to provide anything in that final third. Ever. We'll put in Fossey. I know it's a fucking, you're throwing, all caution to the wind by throwing in a guy like Fossey, but fuck it. Musah's not doing anything.
Yeah.
But where the fuck was Luna or Reyna? Where the fuck were they in this game? Where the fuck were they? And why the fuck didn't either of the two or one or the other make it into this game is pathetic. And I hope it's an injury. I better hear it's an injury. It better be an injury.
For both of them, they're both warming up, though. It definitely wasn't. There's no way it could have been an injury.
It wasn't an injury. Right.
Again, Musah was in the entire 90 minutes. He was non-existent outside of getting dispossessed and giving up corner kicks the entire fucking match. Occasionally, he might make a run up there and try to lob across that went to nobody. Why is he constantly getting playing time out wide? It would have been better off to push McKinney out wide. It would have been better to put Weah back in that role. Anything would have been better. Fossey coming in would have been better.
You could have moved McKinney out there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we could have moved.
And brought in Reyna or Luna and put him up there in the offense.
They should have done, yeah. It boggles my mind. Tax Brazilian goes for $2. Says golden generation.
No, we don't even believe in that term, honestly. Wooksy again says for $2, we lubed up our girlfriend for Panama to penetrate. Yeah, that's what just happened. I thought we were going to overtime. We'd even make it that far. Edgar Castillo for $1.99. Positive. MLS media will tear up Poach. Deserved. Yeah, he's going to get torn up, not by just us. He's going to get torn up by Tack and Pete and MLS Moves and Adam. We're all going to fucking invade his asshole because he deserves his asshole and his whole colon to be full of criticism because this was a pathetic excuse for subs. Well, the one sub that wasn't ever made, like we were talking about it at halftime. Reyna got to come in. Luna got to come in. Somebody's got to provide an offensive spark and some vision and creativity. How can he not see that? How can he not see it? I don't know.
Why we're so overly defensive? I mean, just look at this lineup right here. That's 4 offensive players and 5 defenders and Musah. I don't know what you want to label him as. But, I mean, Pulisic was non-existent. Primarily because they double teamed him a lot of it, and they're pressing him hard nonstop. Okay, fine. So Pulisic gets pulled out of the way. Somebody has to step up,
and somebody's open. If you're getting double teamed, somebody else is open. And Pulisic held on to the ball way too long most of the game. He fucking did it, and so did McKinney. Held on to the ball too long several times.
But I mean, just jumping back to the subs, we've already talked about Sargent ad nauseum in the sense why the sub was questionable, but big thing for me is why was Testament subbed out for McGlynn? That boggles my mind. I don't understand that switch.
Yeah, no, that was the big one, and even Miola pointed it out. That's a like-for-like sub. What good is that going to do you? And by the way, they did go all hug Terry Henry. Was not mistaken on that. That, in fact, happened.
So, I mean, breaking down the game as a whole, we had our opportunities. We had some near misses. Not near misses. We had some close opportunities that were misses. We had a goal called back. We had a near chance at the end there to tie it up. Panama had one opportunity the entire game. That was really a chance, and they put it away. That's all that mattered.
Yep. Pretty embarrassing.
When you come out and you play so flat like they did, they played almost just too conservative playing defensively by having our formation and our setup. And we weren't pressing quickly. This is, again, we talked about this is similar to Greg Paul. The reason is because we played that same tactic of not pressing quick enough in the attack. And instead we passed it around, and we probably got like 1,000 passes throughout the entire match.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Congratulations.
Yep.
I'd love to see the heat map of that ball and find out exactly where the passes were, because I guarantee you it's going to look like a fucking horseshoe. Yeah,
because like when we gained possession when they had the ball, were we striking quickly like a viper? No, we didn't. We just passed it sideways and back. Like I said, it looked like Greg Berhalter ball. Mm-hmm. It really did. This is not the same poach setup and arrangement for the Jamaica game.
Daniel wants to know why are the players never blamed?
Well, fuck the players. They fucking suck too.
Yeah. We were talking the entire game saying how Scally arguably are probably our most consistent player besides maybe Adams.
Yeah. Everybody else sucked. Most of it sucked. The players sucked, but I don't think they were put in any situation to succeed, but you still can't play that poorly. And you got to bring in somebody who can break up the monotony. And nobody was brought in who was skilled enough to break up monotony. Those kind of guys are Luna and Reyna. They break up monotony. Bring either one. I don't give a fuck. I would have been surprised if it were Luna over Reyna, but fuck it. I'll take it.
It seemed like when we weren't passing it around the horseshoe and slowly bringing the ball up and allowing all 10 other players to get behind the ball, when we did push up in the attack, it was a quick change of point of attack. So switch it quickly over to Musah, who's out wide right. Switch it over to Weah, and then it was just lob after lob into that box to nobody for the most part.
It looked so much like Greg Berhalter ball. It was scary, and we said it during the game. And then, okay, we've been critical, and then we just had that fucking press conference with Poach. And none of these mainstream motherfuckers asking questions, these journalists, not a single one of them said, what's up with Nathaniel Brown? Can you give us an update? Are you interested? Have you reached out to him? Have you made a phone call? Not a single fucking one asked a question. We could have used that depth tonight. We really could, because you could have moved Scally over to the right to hold and put fucking Nathaniel Brown on the left. You could have done that. You could have had at least that flexibility, right? No. Nathaniel Brown's playing for the U21 German team. Congratulations, fucking asshole. Go out and recruit. You don't have to suck his dick or beg him to be on the team, but put him on the fucking goddamn, and we don't know. Maybe he didn't want to be on it. Maybe he didn't want to be on it. Well, maybe you're just not making phone calls, because 3 months ago in a German article, Nathaniel Brown said he's never been contacted by Poach. Never once. And we're not fucking Argentina. We're not Brazil. And this guy is American. Okay? He may be German American. Who cares? I'm German American. Call me. I would have played. And I'm pretty sure, based on Nathaniel Brown's activities on his social media, that he was open to the idea. Now, we don't know because no one in fucking mainstream media will ask him that question. No one. We just had a fucking whole interview with Poach. Not a single stupid motherfucker asked that question. Not one dumbass thought that talking about how wonderful it is to be in Los Angeles. Oh, how do you like the field? How about, what are you expecting? Fuck that shit. Let's get in. Let's dig in. Your job is as a fucking journalist. Are you really interested in the U.S. men's national team? Then you're interested in it being the best it can be. And if you are, you're asking those kind of questions. Sorry, I'm sick of this shit. That's another one of his blind sides. And I don't mean to get too critical about one loss, but at least Greg Berhalter, when he took over the team, he won the Nations League. He won the Nations. It wasn't pretty, but he won it. What the fuck was this that we watched tonight? What was that? That was no better than any of Greg's worst losses. That was right on par with Greg's boring ass soccer. Right on par with it, baby. Jacob Ramirez says $4.99. Honestly, it's just my fault for believing in them over and over again. Same old sucky story. National team. Now I paid $200 for a third place match. Oh my God. And if that's Canada, I imagine we'll lose. And if it's Mexico and we set up like this and play like this, we will lose.
I swear to God. Is there a third place match? Really?
Yes, there is. And we're going to have to endure that, Brett.
I'm sorry. I'll happily endure that depending on the lineup. I mean, we'll endure it regardless. But this is your time, Poach. Just go balls to the wall. Stop playing whatever this defensive shit that we just saw today was. There's no reason. There's no reason with how Adams is playing at Bournemouth currently that we needed a double pivot, quite frankly.
Right. Oh, by the way, Bob's your uncle. I got to get this before it passes. Scally was atrocious. Dude gets 10 yards past the midfield, stops, turned around, passes backward. Bob's your uncle. I just got to let you know that was what he was told to do. He made 3 runs total in the whole game before the 80th minute because he was told to play left center back. He was a left center back for giant portions of the game. He held on purpose. He was told to do that. That you can't blame that on Scally. He was told to play that position. If you watch giant chunks of the game, he played left center back alongside of Ream and Richards.
Well, why would Scally have to play back? Because there's no options going forward.
Mm-hmm.
No movement off the ball. It was stagnant. The entire first half was just horrifically static. The second half started.
Where was all the interchanging of positions we saw versus Jamaica last? What disappeared?
The second half started off much better. We looked better, and then it just got stagnant again. And probably right around when the subtimes came in. Quite frankly, I know Ogman had his opportunities, of course, but
Isaiah Probst puts it perfectly. We were horseshoeing it again. Yeah. Yes, we were. We went back to GGG ball. Same shit. Different coach. Whereas we saw a totally different team versus Jamaica. And we're talking about Jamaica on paper, better team, but a worse coach team. Christensen, way better manager. Team not so great on paper. Okay, not so great on paper. They got players playing Ukraine and fucking Russia and goddamn all over Eastern Europe. What the fuck? This team on paper really shouldn't even be challenging us. On paper. The point is, they played smart. They set up smart. They actually achieved their goal of, as Brett said earlier, hitting on the counter and having a 5-4-1 set up on a block on defense whenever they were forced into their final third.
Edgar Castillo for $4.99 says, everything has been weird this camp, starting from the roster selection to the press conference responses to this mess. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Seriously, what are we doing? Are we giving this coach a pass? Like, we're not going to ask him any questions? Because I remember when Greg was coach, at least the questions were, are you recruiting so-and-so? How's the What players in Europe are you reaching out to? What the fuck's going on? We can't ask those questions. Is he so great that he's not allowed to be questioned about his recruiting?
And
I guess not.
I don't know, man. This wasn't like this isn't a camp that's leading into a friendly or something like that. That this is obviously a serious camp. This is going into Nations League. This is going towards hardware. We are three-time champs right now. We're going for 4P. But then you had stuff like I said. You had as nibble for $2 says here. Journals would rather ask political questions instead, which is that whole destroying Panama thing. But then you also had videos coming out where Pulisic was trying to score flick-on goals against Will Smith. And it just seems like this window would be the window that you'd really want to just buckle down and get serious on. Whereas other windows against friendlies and stuff like that, yeah, sure, maybe a little lightheartedness here and there, but I don't know. Just seemed like our head was everywhere besides the match.
Yeah, and I just want to be clear. I'm not going to lose any sleep about this tonight. I'm just not. I'm just disappointed right now that I spent 2 hours watching a game that was pathetically close to being worse than almost all of Greg Berhalter's Nations League performances. It was worse, except for the last. But then you could blame that on Tim Weah.
Again, that was Copa, Derek. That's Copa.
Oh, that was Copa. Okay.
No,
wait, no, it wasn't.
Yes. It was against Panama in Copa. The punch?
Okay. Yes. Fair enough. But
you
still.
You remember what happened you had for breakfast yesterday. You said that earlier today.
Greg lost his job from that. And he was playing with 10 men. I ended up defending Greg because I wanted Greg gone. But this was not better. This was not better. And I hope this is a wake-up call for Poach. I really do. Unfortunately, now we're going to have to play for third place. And I don't know how enthusiastic these guys are going to get for that game. I don't know how enthusiastic they're going to be.
I think Poach is going to have to give some players a chance that didn't get a chance that should have got a chance tonight. We talked about them already. Luna,
Reyna.
They're gonna have to go out there and play their asses off because they're going to want to say, "Hey, I should have played in this game. Now look what I can do. See, next time in the Gold Cup, bring me in."
Yep. Nibble 3 or Nibble says for $2. And why was Poach coaching speed? Any answers? I mean, I don't know. I've heard that a lot.
There's a lot of trying to Hollywoodize it right now. It's fine to do when it's not a camp. Poach could have done any of this media shit weeks leading into the actual window itself. When the players get called in, the 3 days that the players have all been in there should all be down to business, serious. Let's get ready. Let's get physically ready. Like not like having to work out a bunch or training a bunch, but just making sure we're all sharp and ready to go. Mine's on the game only. But
I understand people's disappointment with Sargent. Sargent wasn't the problem tonight, Mr. Singleton. I do get it, though. It's disappointing. On the other hand, can you really tell me that both Luna and Reyna were so horrible in the build-up and practice to this game that they weren't even considered as part of subs? Because those subs seem to be pretty much written down already. Like
except for McKenzie, that seems on the fly because of potential
the injury to Richards, but the rest of them seem like planned.
When you say rest them, you only need 2.
2. We could have used more. So
I don't know what he's watching.
I'm gonna go take a pee real quick, and I'll be right back to answer all these. I'll be right back, Brett. I need to pee really bad.
To know if Musah's ever played. Go ahead, go. If he's ever played well during Ramadan. No, there was that one game where he was talking about how he was fasting, and that game was pretty bad. I don't know. I mentioned it during the game. I'm not sure what's happening with Musah, quite frankly. He's been non-existent for a couple years now. He started off under Greg, and there was all this excitement, all this hope, because he was really clean in tight spaces. He was dribbling the ball forward and making the passes, moving the ball forward. and it added flair and life to the midfield in a relatively kind of dull MMA for the most part. But now, I mean, yes, he's playing out wide right, but he should still be able to do all that same stuff. But he's not, and he's missing it. He's even missing out on form that he has at AC Milan. Quite frankly, I mean, I want to take that Moose over the Musah we've seen over the past couple games, or since Poach has taken over. Quite frankly, Nibble for $2 says I stopped working early for this crap.
You know the sad thing? They're interviewing the Panamanian players here.
Sure. Why would you ever interview the American players after this?
Nobody wants to show their face and take responsibility. Yep. Sad. Yeah. Wes Smith, I mean, if you had balls, you would come out, if you're Pulisic, and maybe he still will, and say, this was a horrible performance. We were horrible. We were bad. I don't want to hear anything about we had all the possession. We dominated 70% possession. We dominated the game. I don't want to hear any of that jack shit. I want you to take responsibility for this. Yeah. I want Poach to take responsibility for it. I want the fucking players to, because they look ghosted. They were ghosting tonight. Okay, sure. The setup doesn't help. I don't think the formation helped. I don't know. I don't think Scally playing on the left wasn't a problem. And then somebody said, well, he didn't ever go forward. He wasn't supposed to. He was not supposed to go forward. He only got the green light to go forward in the first half if it was absolutely open, or in the second half late, he was finally given the green light to go forward and did. So don't blame it on Scally. Mm-hmm. He was playing left center back for most of the game. Wes Smith says for $20. Thank you, brother. We do appreciate it. Fuck me sideways, guys. This hurts. This hurts a lot. I thought Poach would turn us around, but from the lack of recruitment, the weird selections, and now this, it feels like we're stuck in the mud as a footballing nation. It does feel like we went backwards tonight. It feels like we went backwards to Greg. Honestly, I think we went backwards. Back into GGG territory. And it's not just because we lost. I don't care about that. It's how we played. That's what made us go backwards. It isn't the loss. If we hit the post 4 times and we were totally dominating and we had all these opportunities to score, but nobody could finish, we totally dominated the game and we lost on a fluke goal, fine. Live with it. Okay? We were the better team. We should have won today. That's not what I'm saying tonight, because we barely had any chances. We had, one real opportunity for Agimon and one real opportunity for Sargent, because the other one was offsides. Mm-hmm. That's it. And then the last one was Tyler hitting a pretty good volley with like 5 seconds to go.
I thought it was going to be a fucking Cinderella ending there too.
I mean, it would have been great if that hit the top of the post and fell in, bang, bang, All right, Bob's your uncle for $4.99. Thank you, brother. McKennie wasn't good. No, he wasn't. And still created 2 sitters. Somebody finished, for Christ's sake. Pulisic was god-awful throwing shit right now. Yeah, Pulisic was poor. Extremely poor. And he had sort of the Superman syndrome we've talked about before, that when he finally did get the ball, he dribbled and dribbled and dribbled and dribbled until he lost it.
Yeah.
Instead of looking for the simple pass and maybe a triangle thing. But then again, the triangle thing's so obvious at this point. They already knew.
Do you recall when our last goal off of a corner was?
No.
Was it Weston McKennie in the first Nations League? I mean, are we going back that far?
The last goal off a corner was Jamaica putting it in their own goal.
That's fair enough.
That is the last one.
But I mean, something has to be obvious. We used to be a corner taking team.
A set piece team.
We're a set piece team. We were great in the air. We got players, and we got Ream, we got Richards, we got McKinney, we got and Weah can get up. We got players who can get up in the air. But and Pulisic will lace one every now and then. Once in a while, we start sitting there going like, "Oh, maybe he's turned the page in his corner kicks, and this is going to be a good." Nope. And then it's just like, why is he taking corner kicks still? I would much rather them play it short every time, and I hate short corner kicks.
You know who's better at corner kicks? Gio Reyna.
Yeah.
When he took him, he was better. Bert Toast, $4.99. I seriously don't know how much longer I can watch this team. I'm starting to think the old heads are right and would kick this team's ass. Oh, you mean like older teams?
94, 2002, stuff like that.
2002? I'm giving them a really good shot crushing this team, not only mentally, but physically, and just in so many ways with confidence and self-belief and chip on shoulder. This team plays like sometimes like a bunch of pussies. What a bunch of fucking pussies. And you again, they're going to say, well, you can't blame it all on Poach. We're not. We're blaming it on both of them.
Yeah, they both players and coach alike share the responsibility of today's game.
Everybody should be hammered for this. Miola's on right now telling how bad it was.
Yeah. Edgar Castillo for $1.99 says this was so bad. Clean out my U.S. men's national team merch bad, man.
No, it was that bad, Edgar. This was, as we said, this is going back to the worst of what Greg gave us. The worst of what Greg gave us.
Yeah.
Because the best of what Greg gave us in these tournaments was 1-0 wins and titles and cups. And, you know, we saw a different evolving team with Poach we were really happy about versus Jamaica last time. And that's not what we got tonight. And you can't tell me that it's just because Jedi's gone that we got this. Like, it can't be just one player that makes your whole fucking system fall apart. If that's if that's what happened, then you're a horrible fucking manager.
Yeah.
You just are. And I'm not saying he is a horrible manager, but he certainly was not a very good one tonight. Replacing fucking Tessman with McGlynn, a like-for-like switch when we needed offense, and Diego Luna and or Gio Reyna would have been a much better solution to the problem. I don't know. I can't believe we're back to ranting. Yep. I didn't think we would get there under Poach. I really didn't. But this was that bad.
This is the funny thing, because the only difference between the Jamaica team, the team we played against Jamaica, and I understand that they're playing much better than Panama played much better than Jamaica did. They're much more
cohesive,
condensed, and they work together as a team on that.
Got a better manager.
Yeah. But the only difference is Robinson was not here.
Mm-hmm.
And then Adams came in instead. So
yep.
Musah got pushed back. Adams got, but it was McKinney that was partnered up with Tessman. I mentioned that during the game. I was asking who was partnered up with Tessman, because when Jedi would push up into the duel at that point, McKinney could push up into the attack.
Yes, and he did.
Yes, that was the big difference, quite frankly. McKinney wasn't a 10 or a second striker. He was he moved up the pitch, which is what I was saying earlier.
Yep.
So
and that looked really promising.
Yeah.
And we said it that night. I think we did it live that night. And we said this was wonderful to watch. But let's not fool ourselves. Panama are a much better coach team. That's why they're in the Final Four. And Jamaica isn't. They're a lot better on paper, Jamaica. But they have shitty organization, shitty coaching, and they have for years completely sabotaged their own efforts. They have a shitty federation that doesn't support them very well. So don't want to hear Klinsmann slander after this. All right. Oh, don't trigger me. Yeah. I'm still going to give you some Klinsmann negatives, not right now, but Klinsmann was not the best coach, guy. I'm sorry. He just wasn't. I think Bob Bradley's actually a better manager than Jurgen Klinsmann as far as tactics and setup goes.
I'll say when the games were a meaningful match, whether it was Gold Cup or whether it was Copa, whether it was World Cup, Klinsmann just put all of his shit away and just played the team as they should have been playing the entire fucking cycle.
Yeah.
So he at least did that. Where this was just way too defensive against a team that was clearly going to be parking the bus.
Yes.
We needed creativity, and the creativity was not there with the lineup we had.
Right.
We could have been creative, but again, Pulisic got taken out of contention. Weah was hugging that left sideline the entire game. There was just a huge gap of creativity, a black hole in that middle of the pitch.
So just to be really clear before we leave that topic, Klinsmann's a really good visionary guy. He has a good vision for how things should go forward. He's not an X's and O guy. He's not a tactics guy. So he did rely heavily on his staff for that. And by the time they got to the World Cup, as you said, they went from thinking, oh, America needs to play this whole new version of soccer to going, no, we're just going to go back to what we were doing before because in the World Cup, that ain't going to work, right? And it worked. It worked for Klinsmann. In the World Cup, they got out of the group of death and then lost, but they did get a job. So caps off to him at least knowing the weaknesses and deciding to jump back. What's that sound? It's jump back. What's that sound? It's the sound of another uninspired, rudderless, and embarrassing loss to Panama. Yes. You nailed it, dude. It was horrible. Rudderless is not something we expect from Poach. Uninspired, not something you expect from the players. Rudderless is on Poach. Uninspired is on Poach and the boys.
Yeah, I don't know. I mentioned. I always feel like there's two ways. We talked about this during the World Cup, like against the Iran game. That we always talk about. Hey, there's two ways you can put away a game. You can put in more defenders and kind of park the bus, or you can put in more creative ball possession maintaining midfielders that can open it up. I'm sorry, there's nobody in CONCACAF that we have to sit there and be super fucking defensive again. Canada can open us up if we don't, but I feel Adams is secure enough with a 3-back that they should have that in lockdown. There's no reason we don't have a creative player like Luna or Gio or somebody like that in the midfield because we don't have that vision.
You just fucking nailed it. You just fucking nailed it right there. If you're playing 3 in the back, which is what we were doing for most of the game, there is no reason, and Bournemouth doesn't do it. Go watch fucking Bournemouth. They play Adams in front of their back. That's it. You play Adams in front of the center back. Everybody else does what they need to do. That's all you need against Panama. You don't need Tessman. You don't need fucking Jack McGlynn. You fill the rest of the fucking team with actual fucking creative, as many as you can fit in, attacking fucking players. That is not what we got tonight. We got 2 holding mids for a lot of the game. We got maybe you could call Testament a 6/8 at best. What kind of
6 in the first half, especially?
It was definitely a 6 in the first half. What a fucking ridiculous bullshit. We got better in the second half because we let Testament roam. But then you take Testament out. And instead of going, you know what? That was an improvement. Oh, no. Instead you go, well, we'll put Jack McGlynn in, who's a fucking like for Testament. Instead of going, let's put Gio Reyna in. Or let's put fucking Diego Luna in. I would have taken either or at that point for offensive creativity. We got none of it.
We were calling it at halftime. We were sitting there going like, not like Testman's playing bad, but we need to take him out. We need to take him out, and we need to put somebody in that's this. And we were talking about taking Musah out, but Musah played the full fucking 90 minutes. I can't keep saying that enough because
now,
it boggles my mind.
You could argue, well, you don't take Musah out because his replacement is Fossey, and Fossey plays in Belgium. Okay, fine. Make that argument if you want. That's fine. I can live with that. But not replacing Tessman with an attacking creative player is downright egregious. It is horrific.
I'm sorry. I don't care where Moose is playing. If he's playing that poorly, I don't care if his replacement is USL League 2 at that point. You need to take him off because he's doing jack shit on the pitch.
Read this question really slow as I go get a spray. 7-Up. I'll be right back.
So looks it for $5. Says Bournemouth play Adams, and they just pin their ears back and attack like rabid dogs. When Adams is injured, suspended, they look like relegation fodder.
True. They do. And he's totally right. Bournemouth, since Adams come back and solidified that centered spot, that destroyer spot, that lane killer spot, they look way better as a team. And they played that way because they don't have to worry. Because Adams is there to shut down counters. He's there to shut down the lane. He's there to destroy counterattacks. So they just, as you say, pin their ears back and attack. That's what we could have done tonight. But we didn't. We decided to play 2 holding midfielders for the whole first half. I don't think Adams needs anybody holding his fucking hand. Reyna or Luna should have started tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's what should have happened. You only need Adams holding in front of that back 3. You don't need anybody else. You're essentially playing 4 defenders. Everybody else goes for 6 attackers. This is fucking Panama. With the offensive abilities we have, you win that game. This was super conservative, super defensive, and horrible. Terrible, as Barkley would say. It's terrible. Edgar Castillo for $1.99. Testament and Adams double pivot versus low block is dumb. Yeah, it's fucking dumb.
That's all it is.
Wholeheartedly dumb. All right, for the 236 of you here on X and Twitter, we do appreciate it. And hanging in with us we're now just getting over. I don't know. I'm still pissed. Still kind of irritated. Mm-hmm. Irritated is a better word. I'm irritated. Pissed, it would be blood pressure stuff, and I don't get there with this. Pissed is when somebody almost wrecks me on the highway. That's pissed.
Yeah.
Because they pull in front of me. Or they pull into me on the lane. Yeah, I'm just irritated because I thought we were going to get something fresh and new. And what we got tonight was Greg Berhalter, not even like medium Greg Berhalter. We got the worst of Greg Berhalter tonight.
And I know a couple people mentioned it. I know Colin mentioned it too during the game and stuff like that when we kept saying Greg Ball, Greg Ball, Greg Ball. But people mentioning maybe it's not Greg Ball. Maybe that's just our ball. That's just our players.
No, we saw it against Jamaica, and I get it. Jamaica are not a well-coached team. I get it. On paper, they got a pretty good team, and we absolutely dominated them with interchangeable positionality. And you can't just tell me that losing Jedi was the biggest. Like, if losing Jedi is all it takes for us to not be able to do what we did, then you're a fucking moron for not recruiting a guy who can do what Jedi does. And his name is Nathaniel Brown. If you're too arrogant to go give that guy a call and ask him to be on this squad, that's on you, Poach. That's on you. But, of course, we don't know. No one knows what the situation is with Nathaniel Brown, who would have been the perfect replacement tonight for Jedi and could have done most of the things that Jedi does. If you're too arrogant to tell us what's going on there, because no one will ask you the question because the mainstream media are so fucking dumb, idiotic, or wrapped, or maybe they're just not allowed to ask the question. We have to start to ask ourselves, are they dumb? Are they idiots? Or just are they not allowed to ask about?
I think Poach legitimately asked Scally to do what Jedi does, and there's no chance in hell that he's going to be able to do that. At that point,
if he asked Scally, he did not ask Scally to do that tonight.
Well, Scally was bombing up the pitch periodically.
No, he went up the pitch, Brett, 3 times in the first 80 minutes. He broached the final third 3 times in 80 minutes.
Getting into the offensive half is getting up high for Scally, quite frankly.
Yes, but Jedi broaches the final third probably 15 to 30 times per game for Poach. If you go back and watch the videos. Scally broaching it 3 times tells me one thing very clear. Scally was told to do what he did. Hold. Unless there was a massive opportunity and he could exploit. He was told to hold with Ream and Richards in that back three. Surely you saw that tonight. Surely I'm not alone seeing that. I made it a point as we called the game that Scally, that's the third time Scally has broached the final third.
Oh, you mentioned that,
game.
yeah. I'm just my point is that Scally got up higher than he has in all of Poach's history, quite frankly.
Well,
Now
no, in the first game of Jamaica, he broached it 5 times.
I'll take your word
he
for that.
He broached the final third 5 times. In the second game, he broached it 2 times. This game, he broached it 3 times in the first 80 minutes. I counted it. I wrote it down every time he did it. Because I don't need any of these motherfuckers telling me that he was playing left back all game. Because a left back doesn't just hold all game for 80 minutes. That's not how this works. A left back goes up the fucking field. That's what left backs do. In all of my experience playing, the years I played soccer, left backs get up the left wing. And covering the sport for 30 years. I'm sorry, that's what happens. That's not what happens now. Scally played left center back. We saw it very clearly through the majority of the game, especially in the balls at midfield, played left center back. He was given the green light with about 70 at the 76 minute point to go forward and attack. That's when we finally saw Scally moving forward and attacking. We were desperate. It was basically the 2 center backs with Adams in front of them defending, 3 guys defending, and everybody else going balls out. And so it didn't work. Didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, it was obvious about the 60th minute as Panama continued to like walk off the pitch on subs, take their time. They were clearly trying to wind the time down, whatever they could, just eat away the time to try to get it to extra time, try to get to PKs at that point. But they got their opportunity. So they took it.
Here's the other thing. No magic from anybody tonight. Like, there are occasions where you're like, oh, that guy produced a little bit of magic. No one produced dick tonight. Nothing magical. Nothing creative. It's pathetic. Edgar Castillo for 199. Thank you, brother. Uninspired to even watch El Tree versus Canada. So bad. You know what? This might be a better game.
Oh, it's got to be. Anything's got to be a better game, Derek.
Yeah, this has got to be a better game. I think it's going to be actually kind of fun to watch. I'm going to watch it because it's got to be better than what we just watched, which was pathetic, slow, predictable, Greg-like. And I know you feel bad picking on Greg at this point because we hired this guy for a lump money, big dollar. Mm-hmm. And this is what we get, some pathetic, suffocated, constipated bullshit we used to watch 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. You know, it's sad. I can't even get it up to stroke it before I sleep. You know what? You got to shut out the game and put on your best stuff. Put on your Angel Smalls, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
What's that her name? Angel Smalls? I think her name's Angel Smalls. That babe is ridiculous. That's acrobatic shit. All right. Anyhow, I think we're done for tonight, Brett.
We've covered more than enough of it, yeah.
I might, have a stroke before this is over. This is not what I expected.
You might have a stroke, but Noble was here saying that he can get a stroke.
I might get it up to stroke. Anyhow,
last thing I'll mention about it is all we paid this lump sum of money for Poach, but in the end, it's just the same shit over and over again.
So he better learn.
Quit being so defensive. Go on the attack. Actually, just get fucking creative with that shit.
Put a creative player on the pitch in the middle of it. Try that. It really worked for fucking Juventus with Zinedine Zidane. I'm not calling Luna or Reina Zinedine Zidane, but you need somebody with like at least an ounce of that playing the fucking center attacking midfield spot. I'm watching this, and Paramount is having a fucking hilarious time in this. This should be a time for sorrow. Dempsey seems kind of like bummed out by it, but anyhow, among the worst U.S. men's national team performances in a while, yeah, it's up there. It's in the poopers. Some of the poopers Greg gave us. But let's be honest, Greg never really gave us any. He gave us some. Yeah, we squeaked through that one. Games in the Nations League, but he didn't give us a stinker like that, and that's saying something. And I'm not saying that Poach won't fix it. He may look back, go to the video, and fix it. God help us. I hope he does. I hope he does. I hope he has the foresight and the insight and the self-reflection to do that. I'm counting on it. Now, I'm not saying fire Poach. I'm not saying it. But he needs to hear that he did a poor job tonight, because he did do a poor job.
As far as the worst performance, remember, we did lose to Colombia like 5-0 before Copa.
Right.
This against Colombia, but still.
It's a poor performance from Poach. It's a poor performance from the players. An uninspired performance by all. So let's just be clear. Not blaming it on all Poach. Blame it on the players too. Although the players certainly weren't set up for success tonight. The formation was bullshit. And the whole philosophy of how that was supposed to work with Tyler Adams did not work. And it wasn't on Tyler Adams because he did his job. But whoever's supposed to be playing just in front of Tyler Adams in the 6-8, not that Tessman even did a horrible job, but bringing in McGlynn for Tessman, a like-for-like switch when you needed an offense and you needed a goal, complete catastrophe. What a fucking joke. We're all shocked by it when it happened. When McGlynn came in for Tessman. I think you were. I think I was. I think anybody watching the game was like, what the fuck's going on? Anyhow, we will be back. When's the next game, Brad? When's the third place game? Sunday?
It's got to be something like that, right?
I think, are we covering that live, or are we just going to stay home, watch it privately, jerk off afterwards? And
Sunday at 6 p.m.
You want to do it live?
Yeah, let's do it live.
All right, we'll do it live Sunday. Oh, Jesus. All right, we'll see you then, guys. We love you. Sleep well. Don't lose sleep from this. This is not worth losing any sleep over. It isn't. Don't do it. Don't get that irritated. Just have like a minimal amount of irritation and then get over it. Take a shower. Have sex with your stepsister and go to bed. All right? We'll see you on Sunday. Good.
That hurt.